It is my honor to address this conference on 100 years anniversary of the women's suffrage in Hungary. My name is Andrea Pető. I'm a professor at Central European University at the Department of Gender Studies. Now I would like to greet you as a member of the Scientific Council of the Foundation of European Progressive Studies. And I would like to address one issue in this speech, which is the issue of academic freedom. As you all know by now, the Hungarian government revoked the accredited study license of the 2-year master's program in gender studies. Attacks on gender studies as a scientific discipline has become a central rhetorical tool of those efforts that try to determine for a wider audience what science should mean, and thereby to create a new consensus of what should be as normal, legitimate, and scientific. Therefore, we need to fight against de-democratization of education, and I would like to draw your attention to the key arguments of a policy brief I wrote for the Foundation of European Progressive Studies. The concept of academic freedom guarantees the liberty of individuals to fulfill their function without discrimination or fear of repression by the state or any other actor. Yet, political intervention in the functioning of higher educational institutions and the work that their staff are carrying out have occurred in Europe, most recently in Hungary. I argue that these interventions are the de-democratization of European higher education with severe consequences and calls for immediate action. Political interventions in the functioning of higher educational institutions and the work that their staff are carrying out have occurred in several countries of the European higher educational area and in Hungary. And these interventions are the de-democratizations of the higher education in Europe. How did we get there? There are several reasons. The first is that one may hope, perhaps, that elite scientists enlocked within their ivory towers of science in scientific institutions will be able to keep the populist powers of alternative scientific discourse at bay. I hold this as a self-deception. This is an issue for all of us. In a number of countries, the very foundation of science, the freedom of expression, and truth-seeking are criminalized or delegitimized by the state itself. The existent European system of scientific institutions has always considered the raising of the enlightened and the educated citizens as its primary task. And this enlightening tradition was weak and it is easy to break. And that's what we are witnessing today. Higher education is a fundamental public good. And while the debate about this notion often focuses on the public access to it, it also includes what is being taught and what it is taught. Members of the academic community, individually or collectively, should be free to pursue, develop, and transmit knowledge and ideas through research, teaching, and writing. The concept of academic freedom guarantees the liberty of individuals to fulfill their functions without discrimination or fear or repression by the state or any other actors, even by oppression by financial officers. The second reason is that our over-bureaucratized neoliberal universities, with their impact factor obsessions and their conveyor belt-style teaching, while being apt at many things, are no longer suitable for raising responsible critical thinkers. Isolated, vulnerable individuals are the products instead of common critical thinking. So what can we do? Rethinking academia, a kind of education founded on rigorous intellectual work, on passion and voluntarism that I received in the seminars of the Budapest flying universities during communism can be one of our examples. This is the tradition represented by the Central European University, founded by Václav Havel, Péter Hanák, and also Geremek. I'm committed professor of this university for 27 years. This passionate and free approach to science necessarily gets into conflict with the hierarchical control of education, which sees citizens as subjects to be kept under surveillance at all times, just as it happened in the case of Central European University. And this is where I would like to say a heartfelt thank to each of you individually and institutionally for supporting Central European University during this tough period, and also the tough period which is ahead of us. The freedom of science and passion together open up the possibility for intellectual resistance. And we need to derive strengths for our value-based fight, just like, for example, Julia Rojk, the wife of the executed minister of László Rojk, whose life story I have written, did, because she knew that this will be a long fight. There is but one thing we cannot avoid when it comes to academic freedom: fighting it. Not fighting would mean the loss of our right to passionate protection of free science, which is the foundation of all scientific work. Thank you for your support, and I wish you a very useful conference.